Margot Robbie, oh my god. No, I'm gonna cut that out for sure. Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome to my very first Sunday Fun Day. Today's segment is going to be an easy fix, and we are going to be fixing Suicide Squad. So to start guys, before we actually get into the fixing of the movie, we need to know what the problem is. Suicide Squad has a lot of problems, but I've narrowed it down to about two major issues. The first one is the awful villains. I think Enchantress really acts as the main villain of this movie, but I think it's also her brother Anubis too. I mean, I didn't even care to really look up the name of the guy because I didn't care about him at all, even watching the movie. They are just two CGI villains with the typical let's destroy the world ideology. They literally do nothing. They have all like next to no lines. They are boring as hell. This movie's villain, or villains if you really want to call them that, sucks. That's just kind of like half the problem. I'd say the other half of the problem, sadly, is almost the whole movie itself. Just to be very brief and quick about it, the movie's reception was less than mediocre, we can even say. On Rotten Tomatoes, the critics score is 27%. And from audiences, it's only a 60%. And if you hop over to IMDb, it only has a user score of 6.1 and a Metacritic score of only 40. Yeah. So now, the solution. The solution is actually quite simple. Scrap everything. Yeah. Scrap everything. Odd, I know, as this is an easy fix, but this is where the point comes in that easy is a relative term. Because in order to do this, we're going right back to the writing room. They have to scrap everything they did and reshoot an entire movie. But trust me, this would be the best possible thing for this Suicide Squad film. Instead of going with the original story, they should have in fact adapted something that they've already created. And that is one of their most recent animated films, Batman Assault on Arkham. Even though Batman is in the title of the movie, he's not actually the main character, but it is in fact very much a Suicide Squad movie as we are following them literally the entire movie. Batman actually acts as a villain because the story is Amanda Waller gets the crew together, same as the actual live action movie, and she sends them on a suicide mission, Suicide Squad, but this time it's into Arkham Asylum to retrieve intel that only the Riddler has, who is in the asylum, rather than stopping two gods from their giant ring of trash in this guy? Right out of the gate, if you want to go comparing here, Batman Assault on Arkham on Rotten Tomatoes has an 85% compared to a 60, and on IMDb has a 7.5 as compared to a 6.1. And also, if they adapted this animated movie, they actually technically don't have to scrap everything. There's a lot of footage they can actually keep from the live action movie. The first half an hour, essentially, they can keep. The only thing that would be a little different is in the animated movie, some of the cast members are a little different. I believe they have Killer Frost in there and another guy that has like metal chompers instead of Killer Croc. But, I mean, that's easily fixable too. They could just keep the cast they have, or if they wanted, they could substitute those characters for the ones in the animated movie. But the whole first half an hour can be kept. It starts off the same. The characters in the animated movie and the live action both start off in this prison in the middle of nowhere, and the story pretty much kicks off the same way. Amanda Waller rounds up the crew, puts chips in their necks so that way if they misbehave, head gone, and they have a mission with built-in deniability. Built-in deniability is actually very important to this because Amanda Waller says it in both the animated movie and the live-action movie. So we can compare them here. In the live-action movie, if they fail, we have built-in deniability, she says. Built-in deniability for what? The floating ring of trash in the sky is destroying the world. The world gets destroyed, what are you denying? In the animated movie, it makes a lot more sense. If they break into Arkham Asylum, if they get caught, if they get killed, they get caught on camera, easily built-in deniability because it's just villains being villains. So another major problem with this movie is the plot holes. One major glaring plot hole that actually bothered me throughout the entire movie. Where are the heroes? Okay, you know, some of that is described in the beginning, but I don't really want to spoil anything because it is a spoiler for the end of Batman v Superman. But where's Batman in this? We know he's in the movie. He has a couple of little cameos in this. Where's Wonder Woman? We know that she's out and about. How about Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman? All of these guys are in this universe and they are active and we know it. So where are they when the world is literally being destroyed by, again, a floating ring of trash in the sky? Nowhere to be found. It doesn't make any sense. So instead we'll send in a guy with a boomerang, a girl with a baseball bat, a guy that can always land headshots? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So adapting this movie would easily fix the villain and actually fix that problem because it addresses both in one shot. And it's very simple, guys. Batman is the villain in this movie. We have this story. Batman is in this story, not just a couple of cameos. He essentially acts as the antagonist to the Suicide Squad. It works perfectly. There's no wondering where he is, and he is in this movie the whole time. Also, another villain. Although they're not working together, they are both working against the Suicide Squad. It practically becomes a triple threat match between the three of them. It is Batman versus Suicide Squad versus Joker, Joker versus Suicide Squad versus Batman, Suicide Squad versus both. But also with the Joker being another one of the main villains of this movie, it helps Jared Leto and his Joker a lot. Throughout the advertising campaign of Suicide Squad, Jared Leto's Joker was advertised probably the most. It was like he was the big bad of this movie, and when the movie came out, he only had a measly 7 minutes of screen time. That was awful. And let's also not get into how people thought about his Joker, because I try to keep this channel as PG as possible. So it would do wonders for both of these characters, because where they're both coming in right now, Jared Leto, recently fresh off of an Oscar win a couple years back from Dallas Buyers Club, in the first live-action Joker since Heath Ledger's Oscar-winning performance in The Dark Knight. You also have Ben Affleck in only his second outing as The Dark Knight after Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, which again, we're not going to get into that right now. So it would do wonders for both of these characters. You could have had the Joker be completely fleshed out like he was in The Dark Knight. It would have gave Jared Leto a lot more freedom to move, and it would have given him a lot of time to shine, along with fleshing out Ben Affleck's Batman, rather than just having him be like 40-something and already have been Batman for 20 years like we got in Batman v Superman. We can have a lot of backstory for him here, and this could essentially have been like a half and half movie, and it would have been great for the two of them in this universe as a whole. So that, guys, is essentially my solution to this movie. Instead, just adapt Batman Assault on Arkham, and pretty much all of the problems would have been fixed. I do have some final thoughts as to why this would also help. Firstly is the spin-off problem, and I am calling it a problem because within the first week of Suicide Squad's release, there was roughly 7 spin-offs announced. Right off the top of my head, we had a Harley Quinn spin-off, we had a Joker spin-off, we had a Harley Quinn and Joker spin-off, we had Gotham City Sirens, we had a Deadshot movie, Suicide Squad 2, and I think even Birds of Prey might have been batted around at that time. So yeah, that's quite a lot. But the thing is, now all of those spin-offs have been swept right under the rug because they jumped the gun. Suicide Squad started off with a lot of money, maybe not positive reception, but a lot of money, and that's what these companies want. It is a business, first and foremost, and they were just thinking, this is the cash cow, let's keep milking it. But after seeing a lot of the fan reception as the weeks passed, they realized this was not such a good idea, and they definitely jumped the gun. If they would have gone with my story, it would have made a lot more sense, for sure, because Will Smith kills it as Deadshot. Margot Robbie is the live-action Harley Quinn, guys. She more than killed it. She is Harley Quinn. The fact that they didn't really have that much time to branch out in this movie is a crime. People should be put in prison for this. Even that being said, somehow they managed to be the 2 most prominent characters in the live-action movie, and definitely the ones with the best backstory. If they would have went with what I'm thinking here, with adapting Batman Assault on Arkham, it would have given these characters and these actors a lot more room to breathe. It would have given us the time to actually care about these guys and to care when their spin-offs were announced, and those spin-offs could maybe even already be out by now because it has been 2 years since the release of Suicide Squad. We would be hyping these up a lot more because by now we would have already known and loved these characters. So the very last point is, like I said, we're just fixed the spin-off problem, we fixed Suicide Squad as a whole problem, but I also think that it's possible with this switch into this movie, we could have fixed the entire DC Extended Universe. Now believe me, I know, it needs a lot of fixing, but if we backpedaled 2 years and started from there and moved forward, things would have been entirely different if they would have went with this story. I think it could have set up the DC Extended Universe to actually thrive instead of fall like it is right now, because right now it is in jeopardy. Justice League was considered a box office bomb, and right now they are scrambling with their movie schedule. There's actually talks of going into different movies. There's talks of a Joker movie that's a standalone. There's talks of the Batman being a standalone. So really, they're already starting to get other options out there before they waste even more money on this universe. So that's my solution, guys. Instead of going with the original screenplay that they had, despite it being a valiant effort, they definitely, I think, should have adapted Batman Assault on Arkham instead. So guys, that was my very first easy fix. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my opinions. And also let me know, guys, what do you want to see for the next easy fix? As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap.